Mic on. So we are celebrating and cheering dreams today. Dreams of our community, dreams of our friends, dreams of our family. On our Wednesday night program, we have been going through the dream process, and we're actually almost finished. This Wednesday is our last night together, and we're at the point now in our class where we're standing up for what our dreams are and being willing to speak them aloud, to build a team that says, hey, I know that dream, and I know someone who knows someone who knows someone who might be able to help you with that dream. So it's more about coming and stepping forward and being seen in one's dream. And so we have our community and our singers today. So let's give them a round of applause again. Because as they sang in the first opening song this morning, it takes courage and steps to move into your dreams and to have them become manifest. So part of celebrating, part of cheering each other on is a spiritual practice. In Buddhism, it's called Mettā. Mettā is loving kindness, it is friendliness, benevolence, goodwill, an active interest in others. So Mettā is about when you do well and I'm really happy for you and I can cheer you on. And we do that with our friends and our families. And we talk about witnessing, and many times we witness each other's suffering and we hold each other in that. And that's part of spiritual community. But the other part of it is witnessing your successes and witnessing the manifestation of your dreams and celebrating and joining in with you when that happens. And when it can become a challenge for us is when someone that does something that we want to do. That ever happened to you? It's like, God, I really would like to be able to do this, and they did it, and they did it really well. True Mettā is to just go, yay, this is great, and cheering you on. So, how many of you got to see Rafe on Tuesday night? Rafe Perlman, speaking of cheering each other on. So, this is your first Sunday. Rafe Perlman is one of our singers. We have so much talent that comes through Seattle Unity. And of course, we are blessed every Sunday with our house band, with David and John and Olivia and our own Aaron. And we have incredible musicians. We have incredible talent that comes through here. And one of the legacies of Seattle Unity that has been part of its history since the 40s, the 30s, well, the 40s is when the Pearsons were here, the O'Connors were here, was that this was a mother church. And what this church would do would be to have the ministers, and they would hire an associate minister, and the associate would then go out and start a church somewhere. Bellevue or Bellingham or in the South End. And so this ministry would pay the salary for the associate minister and then send them out. So it was as if this church created all these satellites and all these ministries. And I just think that that's wonderful. That's part of our legacy. And I can see that we continue to do that, not only with people going out into ministry who are part of our community, like Bruce Milne, but also our musicians. I mean, Sean Bendixson went out to become a music director of a Methodist church. Jace Lindgren went off to LA to pursue his acting career. And then most recently, Rafe Perlman was on America's Got Talent last Tuesday night. I first met Rafe right after 9/11, and he was singing at a prayer service. I asked for spontaneous prayers, and he was one of the people that stood up and sang. And I asked if he would sing here on Sunday, the first Sunday after 9/11, and he sang in Aramaic. And those of us who were here that day will never forget what the energy was like and the healing and the blessing that he brought to us. And so we've been able to witness his career, in a sense. We've been able to witness his moving out more and more into the world, and his talent expanded and expanded. And when I was watching him Tuesday night, I was not surprised as he was playing with this group called Earth Harp. And Earth Harp is a harp. See how small that one is? Well, imagine a harp that's the size of a room. The strings start on the stage, and then they go all the way out to the balcony, so that those who are sitting in the audience hear each string through their whole body. And it was a synchronistic meeting for Rafe. Not an accident for sure, because he fit perfectly with this instrument and his music. So I was not surprised when everybody gave them a standing ovation and when they voted, and they'll be back after the Olympics and we get to watch them go on and on. But when I was watching, I was so excited, and I was like, Rafe's ship has come in. That's it. He's on his way, and he's scheduled to sing here September 9th, and as well as a house concert, and who knows, maybe he'll be off to other things and we may not see him, but hopefully we will, to be able to bless him. So that's part of being in community and sharing our dreams with one another and celebrating and cheering each other on and saying, yes, we can do it. It's part of being in spiritual community, and it's part of ministry that I have loved, is watching the dreams manifest for people over the course of their lives. When I first arrived here, which is a long time ago, like 21 years ago, I think, there was a reception downstairs, and this gentleman walked up to me and he introduced himself and he said, "Hi, my name is Larry Lindvig." Well, my last name's Lindvig, obviously, and I thought, oh, that's not a very common name. Maybe we're related. And I said, without thinking, I said, I had a cousin named Larry Lindvig. And he goes, "Oh, really?" And I said, "Yes." And Larry Lindvig was my dad's cousin who made a comedy album called the Farting Contest. I come from a long line of real classy people. So I told that to Larry, and he's like, "Thank you, it's good to meet you," and just sort of backed off. I mean, he plays classical piano and all this. He's from the other side of the tree. Anyway, so Larry and his friend Birgit came to church here pretty much every Sunday, and Birgit loved flowers, and she did the flowers at the altar every Sunday for us. She paid for the flowers, she put them together, and it was her ministry. Year after year after year, she gave of herself because she loved to bring beauty. And Larry's passion in life was wine. He loved to make wine, and they ended up getting married. And I had the privilege of being able to officiate at their wedding. And then Larry got an early retirement from Boeing, where he had worked for many, many years. Now, for some, that's a setback, and it'd be like, oh, what am I going to do now? He decided to pursue his dream of making wine. And Birgit could pursue her dream of creating beauty. So they bought some land in Carnation that was a puppy mill. It was horrid. It was muddy, and there was a building that had held the kennels and the puppies, and it was bad. They bought it, and they transformed the property. Birgit planted flowers everywhere in a gazebo, and Larry started making his wine. And they are in their 18th year now. They have a winery called Pleasant Hills Winery. They have 2 open houses a year, and he has won numerous awards for his wines. And I love, and Barbara Thorpe and the Brennans, and there's a whole crew that usually go from the church there. But I love going to their open houses because it's another opportunity to cheer them on and say, "Look what you guys did. This is so great." When we live our dreams, right? It's like we bless each other because we can look at each other and we can say, "Wow, look what you did. Maybe I could step out in that way as well." Jesus said it this way when he said, "You're the light of the world." He said, "You're the light of the world." And he said, you wouldn't take a lamp and you wouldn't put it under a bushel. You wouldn't put it under a table. You put it on a tall stand so that not only can everybody see it, but that it lights up the whole room. So really that's such a great analogy, because I think about that. Imagine taking your lamps in your house and putting them all underneath the table, or the ones in your bedroom and sticking them underneath the bed. It would be dark in the room, wouldn't it? And so what he's telling us is to express ourselves and our talents and our dreams, and to let the rest of the world see it as well, because it brings light, he says, to the whole room. So when we express our dreams and our talents, we're blessing the world. Marianne Williamson said it like this. She said, "Who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talent, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, and your playing small does not save the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. And it's not just in some of us, it's in every single one of us. And when we let our light shine, we consciously give permission to other people to let their lights shine as well. So one of the things that we're doing in our Wednesday night program and in our community is to hear each other's stories so that we can cheer each other on. So this morning, I would like to share with you 2 stories from our community. And the first is from Gail Piper. Gail is a nurse. She is one of our chaplains. She comes to the 9 o'clock service. She was here at the 9 o'clock service. Now, Gail volunteers with international medical missions. And she has been on 18 trips to 8 different countries in the past 12 years. 18 trips to 8 different countries in the past 12 years. Now, one of the things when we are manifesting our dream is to first have an intention. What is it that we're focusing on? What is it we want manifested in our lives? The second that we need to do is to be in integrity. Be in integrity with our word, particularly with other people, but particularly to oneself. Because when we keep commitments to ourselves, we trust ourselves enough to take a big leap and make the big dreams come true. We also need to know what is my passion and what is my purpose. And a purpose doesn't have to be a big, long paragraph. It should be like bumper sticker sized, maybe a sentence. And so I want to share with you Gail's purpose: to be of service, to be happy, to use my life force for good, to be a good mom, sister, friend, partner, chaplain, healer, and nurse, and to create beauty. So when I asked her, so how was it that this dream started to take root in you? And I love this story. She said that she was attending a workshop in Seattle, and the workshop was called How Not to Stay Single in Seattle. And the speaker said, a person is most attractive when they're living their dream, happy with what they're doing, and express the glow of fulfillment. So she heard this in a How Not to Be Single in Seattle, and then through synchronicities heard about the medical missions, and she's been making that her purpose, her mission, her vision. She was in Haiti right after the earthquake and helped. She went to Thailand right after the tsunami and helped. She said about being on these trips, she said it's like magic time, where I feel as though I am in another dimension. What a powerful way to see the world so up close and personal. How humbling to lean over, how humbling to learn over and over again that often bearing witness to someone's pain is as powerful as any medicine or surgery. So she bears witness to some great suffering that's in the world. And what's interesting is she said that when she first began, in particular, she committed to these trips before she had the time off of work and before she had the funds to do it. What's the saying? Do what you love and money will follow. Once you're committed, the doors open that you didn't even know could open. She said, I've had to really own this is my dream. And that lots of people would like to come and do what she does, but aren't able to do it. And so she says when she goes on these trips, she's going not just for herself, but she goes for Seattle Unity. She goes for the larger community, since many of us aren't able to do it. I said, what's the best thing about the mission trips? And she said, the people we see, the perfect moments, the ability to bring comfort, healing, and laughter, and surgery and medicine to people who are grateful. Witnessing heartbreak, I felt crushed and haunted, inadequate to provide comfort and relief. But I commit myself to this work because she says there's also a balance between witnessing the suffering and the joy and the laughter and the bringing and the mixing of them. So even though she is not here at this service, could we give her a round of applause in thanking her? And we affirm with her as she opens herself to receive the support of the world, because that's what happens when we go public with our dreams. We're saying yes, and we're opening ourselves to the support of the world. So the second dream that I want to talk about this morning is our own Doug Meyer. And Doug has wanted to go to India for a very long time. And so I asked, okay, so what is your purpose? And his purpose, he says, is I came here to heal and to learn how to love. He said for him, in pursuing his dream and traveling through India, courage and surrender have been major components and saying yes. So Doug, I'm going to invite you to come up for a few minutes. Welcome, Doug. So I'm going to give you the mic. So how long were you traveling through India?
I was traveling in India for 4 months. But first, I'd like to say I have so much gratitude for this community here. Seattle Unity, thank you for all of your emails while I was traveling. Thank you for letting me have my dream and express it, let it grow, trust, and support me. You all are very important to me just being here today. So from my heart, I say namaste and thank you.
And while he was on the road, he sent pictures and blogs to me and I'm sure a number of people. And it was so great because I'd get my email and there would be an email from Doug with all the pictures of all the people that he met and of all the things that he had been doing. And I felt in some way, just as Gail does on her medical missions, that he was taking us with him. So the elephant, tell us about the elephant.
The elephant. I love elephants. I've had a connection with them. I don't know why, but I was in Jaipur, and I was just traveling around, sightseeing in the markets, and this little tuk-tuk driver comes up and goes, "Do you want to see the elephants?" And I said, yes. This was on my list of things to do. I wanted to have a connection with an elephant. I wanted to do Ayurvedic cooking. I wanted to do Hatha yoga. There was a lot of things that I had on my list to do. So out of the blue, I said yes, And that's been a big part of having a dream is saying yes. I don't know who the woman was that said for a year, she said yes to everything. If people asked for a ride, if people asked her to do something or participate, say yes. And so part of my journey has been saying yes to India, yes to dreams, yes to supporting your dreams, because people like Shauna have taught me so much. I have many, many teachers, and I thank you, Reverend Karen, for being one of those teachers too. And all of you are my teachers, so say yes.
And what was that quote you shared at the first service about life and dreams, life stagnating?
Osho, I was at the Osho resort. Well, prior to the beginning of my trip, I just want to say one thing, that I had taken my second 10-day Noble Silence Vipassana retreat. And so I could really be present and really take in India too. I know Holly had just shared with me this morning that she just finished Vipassana 10 days, so thank you for sharing that with me. The quote from Osho was, he says that the known is like a corpse.
A rotting
corpse. It stinks and it's smelly. We know the known, we're familiar with it, it's boring, And he says life is in the unknown. We have to take risks. We have to drop out of our head, go 12 inches down and start listening to our heart. At least I have. And when you go to your heart and you have a dream, people support you here. People support you everywhere. People will tell you the funniest things start popping up, and you just have to be aware and listen to your dreams too. You know, the divine is going to come through and say this, or watch this video, or do you know about this, or have you tried this? So my experience has been, please say yes. Please follow your heart. Listen to your heart. Follow your dreams. And support other people's dreams too.
The practice of Mettā. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you. Namaste.
And the altar cloth that we have here on the altar, Doug brought back from India for us and gifted it to us. Gail Piper wrote an addendum to her email. She said, I was thinking on my way home from work how touched by grace I feel, how grateful I am to you and Seattle Unity's community for sharing in my dream, for co-creating my dream, for being my spiritual home and inspiring and grounding me, for creating an environment and energy and ethos for me to have the courage to do this work. I do not do this alone. There are many people at Seattle Unity who dream with me, and for this I am humbled and I am grateful. So as we go forth this week, remember that you are the light of the world. And just as you wouldn't go home and put all your lamps under a table or under the rug or under the bed, why would you take your own dreams and your own ambitions, your own essence, divine essence, and hide it? Jesus said to put your lamp high so that all can see and so that the room is lit. As we let our individual light shine, we bring that light to the world. And as Jesus said, he lifts all men to him. We lift all men and women with us because we serve no one by playing small. So this week, I invite you to celebrate your friends, celebrate your family, and celebrate your own dreams.